Braxton was up here. He was saying special teams this year is fun, maybe more than it's been. I'm curious, do you sense that or feel like that has been the case this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super involved with special teams, but yeah, from what I've seen, what I've heard, and then Coach Dawson leading that, I think that was a great move by Coach Frost. I think he's honestly the best coach on our staff to do that. Just his personality, how he goes about it. So I think, yeah, he's really turned that around, and I think that's an emphasis for us. We have it at the beginning of practice. That's our main focus. We know that's been a liability for us in the past, and we're hoping to turn it into an asset.
How can you tell just in a camp setting that special teams could be better or might be better based on what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, special teams, a lot of it is, especially in practice, a lot of it's just effort, honestly. It's a ton of running for those guys, and so a lot of it's really just bringing energy and effort. And so from what I've heard, I'm not in the special team meetings, but from what I've heard, it's been really good.
Coach and Andrew said Ty Robinson has really kind of improved on the mental side of the game. Do you kind of see similar strides from him?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's obviously still a young kid, and so as the years go on, it's something I've preached to him. Just from what I've learned is just because you're a year older here doesn't mean you're a year better, a year more mature, and so I've really, I guess pounded that in his head because it's something I wish people would have told me. It goes fast, and you have to be diligent about what you're doing and have a focus and a purpose every day to make that happen. It doesn't just happen naturally.
Has he been very receptive to that kind of advice you've given him?
Yeah, without a doubt. He's definitely willing to learn. He's a smart kid, and he wants to be great.
Hey Ben, I know you're about to get into the Illinois prep, but kind of the camp as it's winding down, what's sort of your review of it? How do you think it went for the defense? Did you see guys keep their intensity throughout it?
Yeah, for sure. I think this was practice 15, and we've only had, I don't know, maybe 3. I guess we had 2 days off before today. So I think we've had 4 total off days throughout that time. But up until this last break we had, we'd only had 2 off days and 14 practices. So yeah, it's definitely a grind for guys, and it's been the best that I've seen it, just intensity-wise. As far as not having drop-offs, lulls. I mean, really, I think energy-wise, we've had like 1 day outside in the middle of camp. Energy-wise, that wasn't it. But other than that, yeah, it's been good.
Nick Henrich was saying how he's noticed the offensive line is really firing off the ball coming at him. Have you noticed a concerted effort for more of a downhill running game from the offense this year?
Yeah, for sure. Especially on the doubles, I think they're really coming off. Cam is at another level, I think, than we've seen him, and a combination of that and the guards are bigger. Piper's bigger, in the best shape of his life too. So I think a combination of that, Cam being great on those doubles, and then the guards also improving, being another year better at that. I think they've been good.
What's that picture look like? Cam Jurgens at another level. I mean, what do you see from him?
Yeah, obviously he transitioned to center, 2-3 years ago. So it's really been a learning process. You're never gonna, especially something like O-line, D-line, you're never gonna, be at your peak your first couple of years. It takes some learning. There's a curve. I think you're gonna see his peak this year. Just as far as his pass sets have been improved tremendously, I think. And then just, in the run, you know what you're going to get from him. He's an aggressive guy, strong kid. So I think that's as is and as it was, but I think where he's really improved is pass setting wise.
Jordan Riley had a tough 2020 kind of with the injuries, it seemed like, and didn't really get going. But what have you seen out of him as far as how that rotation's coming together? It sounded like he's a piece of it.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're gonna need him. We're gonna lean on him. I guess it's been talked about quite a bit, just his body composition and the change he's made there. That was something I really challenged him in the off season. Was for him to slim down so he could move and make the plays he needs to. He's still 300 plus pounds. He's never going to have an issue holding ground. For him, it's really technique, and he's improved it over from last 6-8 months through spring ball. He's really improved his technique towards the end of spring ball, and then he picked right back up in fall ball. Really buying into that. Another kid that wants to learn, wants to be great, and so I expect a lot out of him.
As one of the team leaders, what are you trying? It's less than 2 weeks. You got a game. I mean, what are you trying to instill now, or is it to the point where it's past rah-rah speeches. What's kind of your message to your guys?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, the rah-rah speeches at this point aren't what we need, aren't what we're looking for, I guess, for our guys. We don't want guys that we need to motivate, right? Everyone should be out there motivated. It's more of a mental side of things, locking in on the details, playing smart football, not beating ourselves, being smart penalty-wise. That's really what we're trying to hone in on in these last 2 weeks. We got playing really smart football.
Do you, as a player, feel a pressure in terms of one-loss record, or is that something for others to concern themselves with?
You mean like our overall record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a result of what we put on the field, and so, yeah, that's all that matters. Nothing else matters besides that. There's no moral victories. You win or you lose, and that's all that matters.
Casey Roberts was saying that he described the young guys in your room as sponges. Would you agree with that sentiment? What's impressive about those guys?
Yeah, definitely guys that are eager to learn. We obviously have our rotation of guys that are going to play, and then there's guys, they know where they stand, I guess, the gap between the young guys and the old guys. It's how D-line always is. You don't have many young guys that can come in and crack that rotation. So they understand the role and the gap they have to close, and they're not going to close it, and they know that if they're not taking everything in and learning from the older guys, there's no way to close that gap if they don't.